Hello, welcome to Nomads RV. My name is Willie, and today I'm going to be reviewing our 2023 Winnebago Solis 59PX Campervan. And the goal of the video really is just to get you up to speed with some of the features and the functions of the vehicle, and then also answer some questions you might have about the rental process and what to expect overall, really. So with that, let's get started with the video. It has a height of 9 feet 5 inches with the air conditioner on top and a width of 6 feet 9 inches and a length total of 21 feet. Now that just means you can drive this vehicle pretty much anywhere in the United States on public highways and roads. Although you do want to avoid some areas like drive-throughs at restaurants, low-hanging bridges, or any type of parking garages, or even campgrounds where there's low-hanging trees or branches or shrubbery like that, because it can damage the solar panel that's on top of the roof and the air conditioning unit. The vehicle takes 24 gallons of gasoline and has a roughly 15 to 18 mile per gallon fuel efficiency. Now the fuel tank access door is on the driver's side as well, and it's close to the driver's door. There's a gray tank on board that holds a total of 20 gallons of liquid. And then the gray water level indicator shows you how much water is actually in the gray water tank. If there is a sewage connection at the campsite, you can grab the gray hose that's located on the passenger side in a storage tube near the propane tank. Once you have the hose out, connect the 4-prong black bayonet fittings to the tabs that are on the gray water valve. You can do that by just twisting them on. It can be a little tough at first, but just twist them on until they lock. And then pull the lever to open the valve and empty the gray tank. Now you can keep the valve open while you're at your campsite, and that's fine. Once you're done, all you do is just close that valve back up and it closes the tank up. The city water connection is also on the passenger side, and it's located at the rear of the vehicle. To connect to city water, grab the hose that's located in the lower rear driver's side cabinet. Connect the hose to the vehicle city water connection. Once you have that done, connect to the city water valves. Make sure that the water pump is switched off. Turn the knobs on the water panel to the city water setting, and then turn on the water. Once you get ready to pack up and you want to use the freshwater tank on board, you'll need to first make sure that the tank is full before disconnecting from the water at the city connection. Now to fill the tank, turn the knobs on the water panel to the fill tank setting. Be sure to monitor the fill indicator that's located next to the sink. Otherwise, if it overflows, water could spill onto the ground underneath the vehicle. It's not a big deal, but it'll just start spilling out all over the place. Next, turn the knobs on the water panel to dry camp setting, and remember to turn on the water pump switch when using the faucets. You can leave the water pump switch on, but if you're not using it, it's best to just go ahead and turn it off. There's also 2 sprayer connections, one on the front with the sliding door on the floor, and then one in the rear at the access panel for the plumbing. There's also 30 amp service on the vehicle, and the access port is also on the driver's side and can be plugged in by lifting the panel door, and then once the blue light is illuminated, you know you have power. To hook the vehicle up to the electrical box at a campground, grab the 30 amp power cord, and that's located in the rear floor compartment. Make sure the generator is off. Insert the end of the cord into the vehicle electrical receptacle, and then plug the male end of the cord into the campground electrical box. If for some reason you're not getting power to the vehicle, you can check for trip circuits at the breaker box, and that's located on the driver's side near the exterior rear bathroom wall. There is a 25-pound propane tank, which is equivalent to 5 gallons or so of propane. The propane gallons usually last anywhere from 1 gallon per day if you're using the furnace. If you're not using the furnace and just the water heater and the stovetop, it can last you even longer than that. So it just depends on your usage. Now the port on the side of it can be used to fill, and that can be done at any propane filling location. Usually U-Haul service centers have them, and some of the truck stops and campgrounds have it as well. There's a solar panel on top of the vehicle that has a 220 watt capacity and charges 200 amp hour AGM batteries. So that pretty much means that as long as you have sunny days, the batteries are going to be charged up, and you really won't even need to plug into electricity unless you're using the air conditioning unit. There's a tow hitch on board that has a max capacity of 3,500 pounds and mostly can be used for towing, or even if you have a bike rack that can fit in there, or additional cargo carrying to give you more storage. There's a 2800 watt generator on board, and that's used basically for the air conditioning unit. And it has a 5.5 inch clearance from the ground to where the unit is. So you do want to be aware of that when you're driving in locations where there's not a lot of clearance, going over speed bumps and things like that. To start the generator, find the generator button on the control panel. Press and hold down for 3 to 4 seconds to prime the engine, and then press immediately up. Should start within 1 to 2 seconds. Now once it's going, it's not completely silent and there are some slight vibrations. This is an example of what it sounds like inside the camper van while the generator is running. There's also a porch light that's located on the passenger side, and that can be turned on from the switch that's located right on the inside of the door above the refrigerator. Now there's also a service light that's located on the driver's side in the rear, and that can be turned on and off by the switch that's on the water panel in the rear of the vehicle. Now, to give you an idea of what it's like inside, I'm 6'3", and the height in here is just right around 6'3". So as you can see, my head is really close to the ceiling, if not touching in some areas. The bedroom area has a step. So when you step up into it, obviously you lose a few inches, and mainly just kind of hunched over a little bit. But most of the time walking through the galley area and into the living space, you know, with a slight little bend of the head, and then obviously into the tent area, you got plenty of space. The bathroom, on the other hand, is kind of tight, measuring 31 inches from the back wall to the front facing forward, and then 21 inches from the driver's side wall to the door, and then 69 inches tall. Again, I'm 6'3", and I'm able to use the toilet and shower, but it does take a few yoga poses to make it work. So if you're a smaller stature person, it should really be no problem to fit inside. The bedroom has a Murphy bed that measures 59 inches by 77 inches, so it gives you a little bit more clearance to lay down. There are zipping windows that can be accessed all throughout the vehicle, and they black out all light and even help with some of the insulation of the heat and cold in the winter months and the summer months. There's USB chargers everywhere. There's a USB charger in the cabinet over the bed near the back door. There's also storage cabinets under the bed to give you some additional storage. There's a 3 cubic foot, 12 volt refrigerator freezer combo. To open it, there's a metal latch that you just move to the side, and then the handle you can depress down and then pull out, and it opens up. Now above that is a laminate countertop with a 2-burner gas range top with a glass cover. And to get that to ignite, you just turn the knob, hit the igniter button, and it lights up real easy. There's a stainless steel sink with a flexible faucet and spray nozzle attached to it. Above the sink, there's a cabinet area equipped with a coffee maker and a spice rack with some basic spices inside of it. Next to that, there's also an additional cabinet area where you can hold cups and additional food items if necessary. Below the sink, there is a storage area with cleaning supplies. There's a 1-pound propane tank that can be used in the camp stove in the case that you want to cook outside and maybe minimize some of the smoke that's inside when cooking. There's no microwave on board. However, there is a toaster oven, and it's stored underneath the cabinet on the driver's side near the bed. Okay, so now moving into the bathroom. The light for the bathroom is located right at the front of the wall at the entrance of the door. The folding door has a lock at the top, and once unlocked, pulling the door requires a little bit of pressure on it to get it to open. Now, once inside, you'll see there's a door mirror, and then there's also a removable curtain rod that goes right down the center of the top of the bathroom. And that can be removed and put to the side or used to hang up towels or wet clothes or whatever you might want to hang up there. There's a flexible shower head with a quick disconnect switch right on the nozzle. There's also a shower curtain that can be snapped in on the inside at the top of the shower. And the toilet bowl area where you sit down can move and swivel just by pulling it sideways with your hands. To flush the toilet, make sure you either have a city water connection or the water pump button is engaged. Press the button and fill the bowl, and then to release, pull the gray lever on the side. When the cassette toilet is reaching its full capacity, there's a toilet fill light towards the driver's side wall at the back on the bottom, and you can notice that it'll start to turn red once it has reached its full capacity. And the access panel is on the driver's side as well, about midway through, and it can be accessed by depressing simultaneously the top and bottom buttons. And then once you open the door, there's a blue clasp at the bottom. You can depress that button. It will unlock the cassette toilet, and then you can remove it. The toilet holds 5 gallons at full capacity, and it weighs approximately 40 pounds when it's completely full. So it's best to dump it before it reaches full capacity. Not to mention, it can start to smell after a few days. The toilet can be emptied at your campsite sewage connection, or if you're on the road, public dump stations are an option, park bathrooms, or even public porta potties are good options. Once the toilet is removed, transport it to the dump location, swivel the drain pipe into position, then depress the blue vent button and pour it into the sewage receptacle. After it has been completely emptied, it's best to rinse the tank with fresh water if possible. And then add a tank disinfectant. There are 2 zipping screen doors located in the rear of the vehicle and on the sliding door, and they're great for keeping out the insects while allowing a nice cross breeze in with the vehicle doors open. There are 2 adjoined seats that are equipped with 2 seat belts, and below them there are 2 USB ports and a 110 outlet. The window is a sliding window with a zipping cover, and above that window there's a storage cabinet. There are 2 removable pedestal tables with cup holders, and they can be stored one behind the seats and then one in the storage compartment over the cab. Both the driver and the passenger seats both swivel around to face the dinette area as well. Now above the stove, there's a 12-volt rechargeable TV that's equipped with a SD, USB, and HDMI port. Now the nice thing about this TV is that it is rechargeable, so it doesn't have to necessarily be plugged in order for it to run because it has battery power. So the generator doesn't have to be even running in order for the TV to power up. So the Solis 59PX is great because it does have that pop top area for additional sleeping capacity. So to deploy the pop top, detach the connectors by depressing the buttons, flip up the latches, and then turn counterclockwise to release the lock. Then manually push the roof up, allowing the gas struts to engage. Now you may have to put some added force to get the struts to engage, and then it'll begin to rise. Next, you want to retrieve the 2-piece ladder from the storage area over the cab and assemble the ladder. And you do that just by latching these 2 clasps on either side. Once you have the ladder assembled, place the ladder hooks into place, and then it's ready to climb up. Now, once you're inside, you'll notice that there's a 52-inch by 79-inch mattress. So you can comfortably fit at least 2 adults up here, if not 3 medium-sized children. There's plenty of space, actually even a little bit more space than down below, so it's pretty comfortable. There is some insulation on the ceiling, but these walls do a fairly good job, but they're not, you know, exactly insulation, so it doesn't stay cool in the summertime in the warm weather, and it doesn't stay warm, relatively speaking, in the cold weather. Mattress is really comfortable. Well, I should say fairly comfortable. It's firm. The nice thing is you have these light switch here, and then the USB and the 12-volt socket right here next to the top. As far as you know, maneuverability, I'm 6'3", and I'm able to move around. So if you're smaller stature, you can probably move around fairly well up there. So there's a vent in the ceiling, and then there's also 2 screened windows, one in the front and then one onto the driver's side. The passenger side window is just made out of like a plastic clear material, like a PVC type of material. So it doesn't have any airflow, but it does allow light in. To retract the pop top, simultaneously pull down on the long straps to disengage the gas strut. Then pull the side fabric straps in, making sure all the fabric is tucked inside the top. Once it collapses down, pull down on the hand straps to secure the top into place. Then tuck the fabric behind the roof clamps before locking them into place. Lastly, connect the safety clips, disassemble the ladder, and stow in the overhead cab storage area. All right, let's talk about the Truma furnace water heater combo.
So we hit the button once. The Campervan icon will be flashing. Hit it again, off will show. Now you turn the dial to the right and you can set the temperature from there. Once you get it at the temperature you desire, then you just hit the button again. And now that Campervan icon flashing indicates that the furnace is now operating. To turn it off, just go back to that, hit that button again, turn it all the way to the left, hit the button again after you turn it to the left, and now it should be off. Now to go to the water heater, just turn the dial as it's flashing. Hit that button again, turn the dial to either Eco, Hot, or Boost. Boost is for showers, so you want to hit that so it'll get the water hot faster. And then Hot, I think it's like 140 degrees, and then this one is 144 degrees. And then Eco, it's like 104 degrees. All you do is just hit the button, select which one you want, hit the button. To turn it off, hit the button again, turn to the left, boom.
And then you'll need to wait 40 minutes for the 2.6 gallons of water to heat up. And that gives you roughly 2 minutes and 51 seconds of usable hot water in a shower. After that water has been depleted, then you'll have to wait an additional 40 minutes to heat up another tank of hot water. Now you'll notice there's an Eco preheat knob. What that does is when you're not connected to a city connection, city water hookup, and you are just in the dry camping setting, it basically helps you avoid any wasted cold water that would go into the gray tank while you're waiting for the hot water to discharge from the faucet. So if you're connected to city water, you don't need to worry about it. Realistically, it doesn't even do anything to help speed up the process. Heating the water in the tank, it just helps get the water to the faucet faster. There are 2 propane valve buttons that need to be in the on position, one on the propane tank and one on the wall, in order for there to be a constant flow of propane going to both the furnace and the water heater. The Solis is equipped with a touchscreen navigation system, as well as a FM radio and Bluetooth enabled. It has 4 USB and C charging ports right on the dash, as well as 2 adjustable seats that both slide forward, backward, and swivel. The driver's seat armrest can be adjusted by spinning the knob underneath the armrest. There's also cruise control, power mirrors, door locks, and windows, and there's a push button start. There's also a wireless phone charging port that's located in the center console. The Solis also comes equipped with a digital rear view mirror, and that has 2 functions. If you flip the latch under the mirror to engage the traditional mode, you can see it immediately behind you in a traditional way that a rear view mirror works. If you leave it in the continuous rear camera mode, then the camera can be adjusted up or down by depressing the button underneath the mirror, as well as the brightness. Now, the vehicle handles well overall and has a relatively comfortable and smooth ride. There are, however, safety precautions and warning beeps that come whenever you park too close to an object or an object gets too close to the sides. So nothing to be overly cautious about, but just wanted to give you a heads up about the beeps. In addition to the zipping window covers on the perimeter windows, there are 4 folding window shades to cover the windshield, passenger, and driver windows. To install the side window covers, unfold and place the reflective sides facing out. Use the magnetic strips to stick to the metal door frames. For the windshield cover, place the reflective side facing out again and use the Velcro pieces to connect the 2 sides together. Then pull the visors down over top of the covers. The vehicle is equipped with all the basic cleaning supplies and kitchenware. However, many people choose to bring their own pillows and linens, blankets and things like that. I can provide some if needed, just let me know ahead of time. The efficient floor plan makes it easy to clean with the onboard small broom and mop. Okay, so now you're officially up to date on all the features and the functions of the Solis, and hopefully you're ready to hit the road and test it out. If I didn't cover any specific questions that you have, just let me know and I'll be happy to answer those. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy yourself and take care.